If I were to ask you, what is the best video game adaptation you can think of, what is it? For me personally, it's Edge Runners. Cyberpunk Edge Runners is like the best video game adaptation of anything I've ever seen. And I don't know, nothing can really change my mind on that. I know people loved Arcane as well, but I never watched the show and I never played the games. So I don't know anything about Arcane, but I know it's really good, so maybe I'll have to check it out someday. But today I'm here to talk to you about The Last of Us, which is definitely the best video game adaptation in live action. And I'm talking about movies and TV shows and everything. I mean, when it comes to video game adaptations, especially in live action, they don't have a great track record. Like, the only good live action adaptations I can think of is The Last of Us, both the Sonic movies, and maybe the Mortal Kombat movie from 1995 if you want to have a fun time. Everything else just sucks. The Halo show is one of the worst adaptations I've ever seen. The new Mortal Kombat wasn't very great. The first 10 minutes was pretty good, but besides that, it kind of sucked. Did you know that they made 2 Angry Birds movies? I didn't even know they made one. I didn't know there was an Angry Birds movie, but apparently they made 2 of them. And the second one actually is pretty well received, surprisingly, but the first one is pretty low down. But I don't know. I mean, who ever asked for an Angry Birds movie? I guess they were made when it was popular on Facebook or something. I have no idea. What I think made The Last of Us TV show one of the best video game adaptations is, 1, they stuck to the source material, and 2, they have writers and people that worked on the game come and work on the show and make sure it's faithful and that it's told the right way. A lot of times in video game adaptations, the people in creative control want to put their own spin on things and change everything because they think it can be done better. And it never is done better. So the fact that they actually stuck to the source material very well, even though changing things here and there, the same thing overall, it worked. And that's what's great. And that's why the Halo show sucks, because the Halo show had nothing to do with the games, and it was terrible, and you saw Master Chief's face in episode 1, and there were more scenes with him without the helmet than with the helmet on. That's a whole rabbit hole I can go down, but you kind of get my point. Honestly, if there's one thing The Last of Us show could have done better to be more of the game, I would say the pacing. The pacing feels off sometimes. Sometimes it feels really drug out, and then like the last episode was really rushed. And there were problems with that, which is why, in my opinion, The Last of Us would have worked better as a movie. I think a full feature-length, like 2.5-hour film would have worked perfectly for The Last of Us. Cut out a lot of the fat that you didn't really need. If you've never played The Last of Us or haven't watched a TV show, whatever way you can access it, I would definitely recommend it because the story is fantastic. Even though the TV show is an adaptation, so it's not one-to-one with the game, it still tells the same story overall, and it's really good anyways. Obviously, I still prefer the game because it's the original, and that's what the show's taking from, and I always hold the game much higher than the TV show, but there were even some things that the TV show did better than the game. And so, overall, it's just something I would highly recommend checking out. And if you just watched the show and never played the game, I would also recommend playing the game. It is a PlayStation exclusive, but you can get it on PS3, PS4, PS5, and it's coming to PC soon anyways, so there's a lot of ways to play it. Pretty much, if you have an Xbox or Switch, you can't play it, but any other way you can, so it's great. I really hope that The Last of Us starts a trend for making good video game adaptations, because as we've seen recently, even though Halo was abysmal and terrible, it still got renewed for Season 2. So maybe they can course correct in a Season 2, or maybe it's just going to be terrible again. I have no idea. But hopefully this show's influence definitely influences every other video game adaptation. The Uncharted movie was terrible, in my opinion. It didn't work, and a lot of these things don't work. And we have a lot of things coming out, which I'm excited for. For example, the God of War series for Amazon Prime. I'm excited and very worried about it, especially since they're starting with the Norse saga with God of War 4. And so I'm hoping it's done right, but like from here on out, there's really no excuse to make a bad video game adaptation because The Last of Us has proven that you can do something good if you just stick to the source material. Stop shoving your own things in. That's why The Witcher fell off. That's why Blood Origin sucked. That's why, in my opinion, Uncharted sucked and the Halo series sucked. Just it's a mess. The reason I think the Sonic movies worked, even though they didn't follow typical Sonic lore, is because Sonic doesn't really have lore. It doesn't have a concise story, so you can really kind of do your own storytelling there. You know, it was a mix of live action and animation, so I think it worked. And they're really fun movies to watch, to be honest. The Mario movie coming out looks really fun too, and I'm sure it'll actually be a pretty good movie. It looks like a really good movie. Heck, even that Tomb Raider movie from 2018. I know it wasn't received very well, at least not by critics, but I actually really liked that movie. And it really felt like Tomb Raider, and I played a lot of Tomb Raider games and stuff, so it's great. I'm jumping all over the place of the video, but yeah, you know the point. We need good video game adaptations. The Last of Us is fantastic, and I would recommend checking it out. And why it's the best video game live-action adaptation is it just sticks to the source material. It sticks to what is good. It sticks to what it knows. And without making it feel repetitive. They've changed a few things to fit this show better, because a video game doesn't translate 100% to a TV show. So you're not going to have Joel, you know, crouching around for like 20 minutes scavenging for ammo in a TV show. And the story overall just stayed the same. And that's really what they should do with these things. So like with the Halo TV show, instead of giving Master Chief a romantic love interest and changing all the lore, they should follow what's great with the games. With the Mortal Kombat movie, instead of introducing a new main character, how about we just follow the characters from the game that people actually care about? I don't know. It's a mess, and I hope they get fixed in the near future. But yeah, that's really all I had to say. So yeah, see ya.